what I'm going to talk about today. Another job I got is Associate Dean. I'm the Associate Dean for the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. I look after the external engagement. That means I am the Deputy Dean for external engagement. External engagement, that's the third job where we link to industry. My university links strongly to industry. Whatever we develop for industry in terms of program, in terms of modules, as well as in terms of some of the system and some of the new tools and techniques. I come from Liverpool. Liverpool, have you heard about Liverpool before, yeah? Okay, Liverpool, it is a beautiful city. It's 800 years old city in the northwest of England. And what we're trying to develop, we develop what we call a modern civic university, try to deliver the solution to the challenge of the 21st century. My university, like your university, in the heart of the city. I can see the campuses around the city, and we are the same. So the city of Liverpool, part of us, and we are part of the city. They cannot function without us. We have 25,000 students. I know you have 40,000 students. We have 25,000 students. We have population about 6% of international students. And we are on the, as you can see, we are on the sea. And Liverpool was famous with a lot of things, which is, as I said, it's Liverpool in the northwest of England, 2 hours train ride from London. And if you come to Liverpool, you come to Manchester Airport. Manchester Airport, 40 minutes away from Liverpool by car. One of the things which is we are trying to establish with your university, especially with this faculty, it is student exchange. I would like some of the students to come to my university from you, and I would like to send some of my students to your university. I am taking actually 2 students from here, 5th of October going to join me, 2 PhD students to spend 1 month with me. So we are working on this. The idea is of trying to get experience of international dimension. So each student should find somewhere in the world to go and spend some time there. One of the things we are very famous with is football. So home of Liverpool Football Club and Everton Football Club. Everton started before Liverpool, but Liverpool is a big football club, even though we lost 2 weeks ago 5-0 to Manchester City, but that's football. Okay, Liverpool is officially the UK's friendliest city. People comes from Liverpool, they call them Scouser. They are very, very friendly. However, when I came to Kazan, I found people in Kazan very friendly too. But when you go there and ask any question, they will accept you. We have about 40 different nationalities living in Liverpool. We talk about when we say living, and they live and work in Liverpool. So they are welcome. And because it's like a port, so we had a lot of different culture, different communities from different parts of the world, from Africa, from America, from China, from all over the world. Liverpool very famous, the first Chinese city outside China. It was built in Liverpool, in the whole world. We are very famous because of the Beatles. Do you know about the Beatles? You heard about the Beatles? So the Beatles was born there and developed there, as well as football club, and the culture of the city. So it is very open-minded city. I'll go back to my university. My university started in 1823. And the university usually, basically, before it became university, used to be a polytechnic. Polytechnic because it started as in 1823 as a mechanical engineering institute, the first mechanical engineering institute in Europe, to start officially to give certification to students. And in 1992, we moved from polytechnic to become a university. However, as I said, our roots go back to 1823. In terms of pharmacy, it was the first pharmacy school accredited by European charter. It was in Liverpool, in one of, basically in my university. The structure of the universities in Britain different than here, or even in England. Usually we have chancellor, and the chancellor nothing to do with the university. Somebody comes like honorary position, and we have this year Sir Brian. He's the highest judge in the UK, And we've got our Vice Chancellor, Professor Nigel. Nigel is one of the top professors in engineering. He was working in NASA for 10 years, and he's basically leading our university for the next 5 years or so. As I said, we are in the heart of the city. This is basically the C. This is what we call a Liver building. And this is Lime Street Station. This is the station. And this is my building. This is where the engineering, all the engineering. So Faculty of Engineering and Technology sit here on the side of the building. And we have a lot of buildings. This is belong to us. This is belong to us. This is the business. This is John Lennon, who was one of our students. And actually, John Lennon have not finished his degree in the third year, and he just actually dropped out because he focused on music. And we have built a building for art, and we put his name on the building. And as I said, we are all over the place. So this is ours, this is ours, this is ours. We have here building, and we have here building, and we have some building down here as well.
So may I have a small remark?
Yeah.
On John Lennon, so it's funny. Well, John Lennon is the same as Vladimir Lenin, because Vladimir Lenin was a student of our university here in Kazan, and he did not graduate neither, because he concentrated on politics rather than music. So Lenin, it's something.
Exactly the same, but that does not encourage you to drop out and go out and not finish your degree. No, finish your degree first. So John Lennon decided not to finish his degree, and exactly as your previous leader. But yeah, the music made him, and he made Liverpool. And we have buildings, and we have the airport named after John Lennon. Okay, what do we have? We have 4 faculties. We have 25 undergraduate students, and then we have different staff. We have 300 different programs, and on top of that, we have, this is undergraduate, postgraduate, and international student. We are up to 25,000 students. Okay, and we went through some sort of assessment by a quality assurance agency, and they have gave us one of the highest marks we have in terms of teaching and assessment. Okay. We have research and scholarship. It's very important for every university to have research scholarship. When I walked into the building, I looked and I found the Time Higher Education, your ranking, it's been advertised. It was advertised in Russian. I couldn't understand it, but I understand the Time Higher Education and talk about ranking. And all that comes from research and scholarship. Of course, they put it on top of it now teaching as well. One of the big things which is we are very active with is Sensor City. Sensor City, we won a grant from the government in Liverpool to develop this city. Now this building we have, the idea of to link to industry, whatever industry needs, okay, they come and work with our researcher to develop new sensors. And the sensor, basically it could be hardware or it could be software. I think majority of you guys here are working with software, but any hardware cannot work without software, and this is where we have developed a master's degree, and the master's degree in sensor technology, and it is a link with other universities, Liverpool University as well as the government. Manufacturing Technology Center linked to 92 different companies, starting with the rover, started as well as other big companies like Sony and like Microsoft, which is we are working. The idea of it, whatever problem they have, they bring it to our labs. We try to solve the problem and we take it back to them. Some of the problems, it is basically controlled. That means we cannot publish anything about it, and some of them they allow us to publish about it. So, telescope, Liverpool Telescope, it's called Liverpool Telescope. It is owned by us, sit in Spain, and it is the world's largest fully robotic telescope in the world. And we have a lot of research from that. We had in 2015, one of our papers published by one of our researchers was cited 25,000 times in just the year 2015. That means we are pushing hard, and we are in 2022, we are going to, the dimension of this, it's 1 meter of our telescope. We are pushing to make it 2 meters in 2022. We have basically completed the design. We need 20 million pounds to complete it. We have secured so far 6 million, and we are working to try to get the other 14 million pounds. Enterprise is very important for us. We're trying to create a lot of money from industry. The idea is to create money from industry by solving some problem from industry and then push it back to our research. And this is the idea. And a lot of our money to support our research, support our trips, me coming here, my colleagues and my staff going abroad through a lot of research coming from industry. Okay, this is basically a little background about where I come from. Today, I'm going to talk about computing. And the word computing comes from, it is an old word or an old term that goes back to history, to Al-Khwarizmi, where he started working with algorithms. That means trying to make sense of some problems, trying to solve a problem by looking at transferring the problems to a little models, and mathematicians understand that. So I was thinking about it, so I wrote, inspired by the past to motivate the future. Then what I'm talking about today, I'll talk about conventional and biological inspired computing, as well as nature inspired computing. And I'll talk a little bit about big data and data science. And I know people here, they are from data science module. And after that, I will look at the application of data science in health and medicine. But I'd like to give some background before I start working on this. Now, okay, what is computing? What is the idea of computing? You look at the literature and you find a lot of definition of computing. If you look at the first one, I say computer or applied computer in the field of science, and I say the field of science. Before the 80s, we don't have even the computing. We have statistician, we have mathematician. We don't study computing. Then computing came, and if you look at any of the department here, they used to call them maths and statistical department. Then they moved to call math, stats, and computing. Then computing started taking over. Computing, maths, and stats. They pushed stats and maths down, and they put computing up. However, computing, the word computing, it still is the center of